Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I have to be very careful with this because, you know, your first name is very similar to a first name that we have, but fortunately it's pronounced different. It's Kamala. It's supposed to Kamala. I like Kamala better in many ways. And I just want to say thank you very much, but I had to be careful with that first name. I didn't want to get it mixed up because it would ruin your reputation completely. Right? I said, is this the same pronunciation? No, sir, it's a little different. It's Cam, right? Cam, as opposed to Calm. But we don't like Calm.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Yellow is the Code program on UNCUSA. And I have with me here Mr. Suman Singh and our friend from Venezuela, Dr. Parum Maraj. And I want to welcome both of you back to the program. As we see, gentlemen, our Prime Minister had a very successful visit to the United States, a very privileged visit, and in comparison to the rest of the CARICOM, she was specially selected and well treated in the United States. And I know there are ongoing talks for future economic development, and I'm sure that all the connection is being made to help us revitalize TNT after the severe damages by the PNM. So also we're going to see some real action on the Venezuelan side where Dr. Parum is there, because all the meeting of the minds are taking place of how best we can revitalize the region. Mr. Singh, we'll start with you and get your input on the visit and the the opportunities expected by our Prime Minister being specially invited to the United States as never seen before with any Prime Minister from Trinidad and Tobago, and so well treated. So I would like to hear your perspective on things. Go ahead, Mr. Singh.
Well, hello and welcome to our listening audience. Definitely, I know the president of USA was quite, adamant that he doesn't get the pronunciation of her name wrong, because Kamala versus Kamala, that's a big difference. And I wish, people in Trinidad and Tobago will also get her name correctly. Kamala, not Kamala. So the president was quite right. But with all seriousness, Gary, Rowley had to have a lobbyist in Washington, D.C., trying and paying big bucks in US dollars every month to try to get a phone call with Donald Trump, right? And he was not able to succeed. And here is it. We see the Prime Minister making Trinidad and Tobago proud by being at the Shield of the Americas, which was the summit of the Americas, which only a few Latin American and Caribbean leaders were present. I saw Irfan Ali, the President Irfan Ali, by Trump's left-hand side there, and our honorable Prime Minister as well. So at least this region, meaning Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana, are well represented. And I'm sure a lot of discussions will be taking place in energy-related matters as well as in normal trade relations, security issues, and assistance. I don't know if you saw where they signed a major memorandum today on the drug cartel. So I guess things are happening, and I guess we will see a full report of, solutions or MOUs that has been signed coming out of the discussions today and tomorrow. So let's see how that goes.
Well,
Yes?
Minister Sturge went ahead of Mrs. Biseso, for this mission and all agreements and everything like that. So there's understanding that took place.
Yes, that it was an MOU on the cartels. So that was signed off on today. So that's a step in the right direction. I hope they extend it a little bit more in TNTKs to have or some sort of office or some sort of physical presence on the ground here in TNT, in addition to the radar, which is in Tobago at this time. But let's see if you can get greater
Well, the U.S.
US.
embassy is there, the U.S. embassy is there. So I mean, all transaction and agreement and things that need to be done will be moving full fledged ahead.
Yeah, so we just need a group, but more physical presence in Trinidad per se. They already have the radar in Tobago, so that's fine. But more presence to keep that cap on the crime down. We want to keep that cap on the crime down because what if the
Welcome, our
crime?
friend Dr. Maraj is in the house. So we have the finance Maraj and the medical Maraj here tonight.
Oh, guys, how are you?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Doc? Long time, man.
Yeah, within a while, yes.
Yes. So, Gary, what I'm saying is that physical presence, we don't want to lose grip on the gains we made last year in the crime front. So, I think that is a hot topic also on the agenda for our team. Our team, meaning our ministers who are on the team at the Shield Summit. Yes?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Doc-
You will listen.
Doc-
Continue.
Go ahead, gentlemen. Dr. Param, you want to jump in for a little bit now?
Well, I was here on the WhatsApp group there, on the news about contamination, no? And mostly plastic bottles, right? Plastic, not only plastic bottle, plastic in general. I designed with some engineers here from the PDVSA to how we can manage this solid waste and convert it into something useful. So we managed to upgrade this changing plastic into fuel for motor, any type of motor engine, any type of engine, and it worked very well. We built a small plant, and I don't know how you say in English, a sample or something. I don't know how you say the word in English. We built it. It worked very well, but we did not get the permission because to continue on building, right? And it was necessary. We did all the testing and things like that on waste products. We did the testing, the classification, and we made the fuel. The fuel is like gasoline. We made it, and it worked very well. Now there's alignment of normas y procedimientos, normative and procedures how those take place. So this project was not convenient for some other people. You understand what I'm saying, no? It's not convenient for the industry, some other people. So, but for the environment here, it's very important that we take up all these solid waste and convert it into something useful, right? Now, you cannot use a plastic bottle that is in the ground again for recycle for human use. No, it's not going to work. It's not eligible. No, So we use it for machinery. Now we have to place this project, if we are going to do it in Trinidad, protection, ambient environment protection, where places here in Venezuela, we have places that cannot be touched, anything, not even to cut a tree or to go hunting or anything like that. And it worked very well, right? Littering, that's a culture of people throwing in garbage to the river and these things like that. That has to be stepped in some laws, very strict laws, just as how traffic law are very strict in Trinidad. These laws have to be, environmental laws have to be very strict as well. So that's the only way we can protect our environment. Here in Venezuela, they have projects that protect the environment. One of them is planting trees. You cannot cut a tree without a license and an evaluation. For example, I have a farm has 300 acres of land, and I wanted to cut a tree. And I had to wait almost 2 years for that permission to cut the tree inside of my farm. Right? If not, I can get in jail, I can get imprisonment for that, or lose my farm for destroying that environment. That law worked very well here, very, very well. No, the littering part is something like culture that has to be taught in school, taught in homes, and a proper classification of garbage and disposable of garbage. So one of the problems there is where you're going to put the plastic waste. You cannot burn it because it is damaging to the environment. No? So we have this plant here that we make the transformation of this plastic, whatever type of plastic, we convert it into fuel. It's not easy, but we can do it. We did it, and the project has a little stop because of permissions and these things like that.
So
All right?
this is something we need in Trinidad, Parum. I don't see it for me acceptable for we to send our waste products to India or China or any country to be reprocessed. That is not creating opportunity for our people. So I would exactly what you're doing there. Like I've seen in you know on the media where social media where they melt it back into pellets and they make even plastic furnitures. You know, so they can reprocess the waste product, you know, and make other things usable. You know, right? You know, so I mean, there's a lot to be done, but these are all opportunities for people in Trinidad and Tobago. Go ahead.
Yes, a lot of work opportunities. Yes, there is a lot of we have a lot of people who are very well qualified in Trinidad, has very great abilities in Trinidad, but they did never have the chance to show themselves. Right now, this is a project that where we did make how you say this, to cover the roof, your roof,
shingles,
singles.
Shingles and tiles. We call it tiles as well.
Right. We do that here with, for example, the soft drink bottle, 2 liters. Right. It's not how you say. It's not how you say reusable. Right. So they classify that the transparent one, the one with colors, and the stuff like that, and they make very thick, how you say, sheets to cover your roof, and is very, very cheap. It comes out of the plastic bottles and very cheap, very strong. You can walk it, have a resistance, one sheet have a resistance of 180 pounds, kilos. That is strength he can withstand, right? So even we build houses with PVC pipe material, you say PVC material, right? And it's like blocks. It make it very like the concrete block is same material, and you you use that material to build houses much more fresh. It's very resistant. It does not need painting. Does not get decays. No,
Very lightweight as well.
very lightweight, and it does not leak. You don't have leakage, right? So, and it is very easy to arm and disarm as well, right? So this is going to create work opportunities to people, much more economical ways. One of these houses that you can say 3-bedroom, yes, you have to put a concrete floor and tiles and your water pipe and electricity and these things like that. It costs is about $2,000 US. And that's the cost of a house like that. 3-bedroom, 2 toilets, living room and kitchen. Right? That's the cost of it, to build a house like that. With the roof and everything like that. Okay? So it's economic. We can use that plant to process plastic and make not only fuel, we make all these type of products, and it is very good. It will serve as very good infrastructure for our country, right? The housing problem in Trinidad is very, very big. Let's be clear on that, right? Be clear on that, and this plant can help not only employment, also help on all type of construction and infrastructure.
Nice.
So you fellas, let me know when we want to present how we can build the plant. I have all the plans on how to build the plant, where we can do it, and yet to invest in that. The plant will take almost 1 year to build, less than a year to build. Very simple. Make the trial, and you will see the results. Now, the fuel that we take out of the wasted plastic works in any vehicles. Well, any vehicle that use gasoline, right, or gas. It also uses on trucks. It's very environmental friendly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, environmental friendly.
Yes. Now, one plastic take more than 100 or 200 years or 300 years to decay. Even the the Cyratex. Cyratex, you say the white.
Yeah.
You say Cyratex, right?
Yes.
Right. Even that we process as well to make roof protection,
Ceiling
protection. We make that as well here. Okay. So let me know when you want to see the project. We make the arrangement and I make the presentation formally to the government.
Great. Gary, I think these guys were planning something similar. Ramjit, the guy's name? The guy with Melissa.
Rajan Parade.
Rajan, sorry.
All right, so Parul, what I could do is if you could also give us a little video demonstration from your area there, what you're talking about, you know? So if that's possible, let's do something like that too in the meantime, you know?
All right. Well, I don't have videos right now or at hand, no?
But we could go live with you, you know, in an
So see what the finished products are. Maybe
okay.
The galvanized, the sheeting, the under ceiling, and so on.
Oh yes. I will get it together and I'll present it to you all there. And when we get on the program again, we present everything. Yeah.
Yes, so it will be on multiple byproducts which they can use, especially in the housing area. So that would be, something quite fantastic as a natural replacement for wood, because I don't think termites and things will eat into those things.
That has to be a robotic termite, man. You see, this is also something we can use for a state of emergency. For example, hurricanes and earthquake, and where houses are needed urgently, right? And one day, I'm telling you, one day, 24 hours, there's these plastic PVC walls. Some of them you can pull with concrete, right? A type of concrete to make it more strong, but it's not necessary to do it. In 24 hours, let's say 24 hours is, let's say 24 hours is 16 hours because the rest time, right? But if you have people working 24 hours a day, you can put up, for 5 men, you can put up one house. 5 men.
Yeah.
Just arm it up, because it will take 24 hours to dry the floor and put the ceramic, right? And the water and electricity, everything just comes in packed up. So for hurricane or natural disaster, wherever in the Caribbean, Trinidad will have the opportunity or the power to serve its people, as it as a very important resource for natural disaster and to the Caribbean lakes. For example, what happened to Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
So a quick response on that. It's better to have it, not needing it, than to need it and don't have it.
Don't have it. So I guess, Gary, we can link him up with this guy you just mentioned.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's doing something similar, or he's planning to do something similar. So let's see, how the waste collection is with respect to plastics and so on. And he has the nice approach to try to introduce it to the schools and so on, the education process, so that they can start to put the plastic waste in certain different recyclable, barrel or bag or whatever they go storing it with. I know in the US we put them in, they have certain cans to put everything blue, green, and gray. Each one, some is regular organic waste. The green one are ball bottles and plastics on green, which signifies the green, environmentally friendly stuff. And then the big trees and all these things which you cut, you put that in another container. So I guess it's a whole education process for us here in Trinidad, because we just dump everything as garbage, whether it's bottles of glass or organic waste or potato skin or what have you, all in the same trash. So
Right. Also, I did a project some years ago on the waste. How you say the waste ground? Waste ground, you say, where they throw all garbage from everywhere. A major place. How you say waste ground, right?
That's the what we have in the beach and the landfill.
Landfill, right? The landfill. We did project here on the landfill where we placed compact. How you say triturar, break up the garbage, cut up with a big machine, garbage, all organic, and then we compact. And then before we compact, we've made something like a losa, a special floor that where water cannot get in or get out, right? And you place pipelines for gas, and there you have a type of how you say
like a bedding, like a bedding.
Oh, okay.
I see they use it here in Trinidad at the Mosquito Creek. They bought it from Brazil. It's like a plastic sheeting, but it's not plastic. It's like more, much more flexible.
A rubber. It's like a rubber.
Something rubberized.
Right.
And then
so what we did is we played it out over on 200 acres of land, and then pipelines was placed like a gas well. Now the garbage was compact there, and then you compact the garbage, then you put dirt on top, a certain amount of dirt, then you compact more garbage, but you have access to the pipeline where the the fermentation from the garbage goes into the pipelines, right, and goes into a special well, and that well has connect up a turbine where you can extract gases from there after a certain amount of time. Now, when that is sealed, it seals with, let's say, two stories of garbage, but that is in a very big precipice, right? Very big precipice, very deep. And every two stories, they place dirt about half story of in height, and compact it, press it. So any gas that comes out, it's sealed. It's sealed, right? And then they go up and up until they fill, and then that there grows trees on top, and they convert that there something like a playground or something that you can use that land for other agricultural purposes. But you cannot use fresh water from there because it's garbage that is below, right? What comes out of that there in the pipelines are natural gas, right? That's what we use that for the garbage process. Than burning it, there you can take that advantage for environmental protection using the garbage, right? So you don't have to burn it; you use it, and then after some years, that garbage below the ground disappears. It goes away. So you can reuse again that land for your disposal garbage. So here we have a lot of land to do it. I don't know in Trinidad what is the capacity, right? But the plastic project is a very strong project, very viable.
Much,
I don't think
it's a much needed project for TNT.
much needed project, and is something like you say a bullet on the ground, man. It's something like that, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to invest a lot, but yet you can make a lot on it, right? Any private company decides that, and they have the permission from the government, or the government have give the financial process to that. You have a very high income into the country, right? You can also, they can pay you to take their garbage. Yeah, look, Spain has that problem. Spain has that very big problem. Europe has that very big problem, and they don't have how they can take off the disposal of the garbage. So we can use there will be a time when this project goes out, there will be a shortage of plastic garbage. You understand?
Yes,
right?
yes.
So they will want to tell us, pay us to receive their garbage, but we will sell them the fuel or the finished projects. Right? And this is something a very, very big project.
I think there's a lot of opportunity there for people in Trinidad and Tobago where you're able to organize a proper system and structure, and you could demonstrate that. You will get people to buy into that because it's very much needed.
Yes.
Take a look at some of these little videos here for a minute.
1, 2, 3, 4.
you believe that we at Bees Recycling take your plastic bottles and your plastic containers and recycle into papers?
Not bad, gentlemen.
No, no, but yet that is a lot of. You see, we can use the raw material, give the product, and let the brains out there in Trinidad and Tobago, which is a lot of young people, do what they want to do with the finishing product. Make designs, make park benches, make chairs, make a lot of things that has high quality, right?
Yeah,
You have to bring to
if
that.
you're that simple, just convert the waste plastic into pellets and let everybody melt it and make what they want to make.
Yeah, they can do it, right? We have a finished product. Now, if you see, we have the plastic and fiberglass vehicles. Man, that is something that we can do in Trinidad. Here we do it here. We have fiberglass and plastic mixed up together, right? And they put on cars. Now, there was no permission from Toyota and Chevrolet and these fellas and them. They don't. You cannot put that on those cars. You cannot convert it. But if we are making our own cars, we can use it as spare parts as well, right? Now, here they use the glasses, the bottles, right, where they have a manufacturing that makes a company that makes bulletproof glasses, windows and stuff like that, bulletproof cars. They uses how you say recycled material, but it is of very high quality. They made it into, right? So from nothing to a state of art, from nothing to high technology we have here. Dr. Maraj, what do you say about that? Finance that plan for me, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking about your break even. What would be what size of plant you need to build so that you have enough plastics to have it working at least 8 hours, if not more, per day? Do they have enough raw material to operate a system like that in Trinidad? If they can't, if they don't have enough to feed the machine on a regular basis, they have to buy from the West Indies. Some of these cans and bottles and those things that you could I think you're referring to plastics. So if you don't have enough, I know Trinidad have down the rivers, but I mean, when they start these plants, there is a minimum size that could take them to break even. So you have to find that right size. And if you don't have enough raw material to run the plant successfully, it is not viable. So all these plans are very good. All these things sound really good, but it has to be viable, financially viable, at least sometime in the future, if not immediately, within a year or so. I noticed that there was I think it was a video or something that Trinidad is collecting cardboards and they packaging it for recycling, but I don't think they have a cardboard recycle machine on paper, recycling machine in Trinidad, because the impression I got is that they were sending it off somewhere to be recycled. I guess they don't have a machine like that in Trinidad. Those are for the cardboards and the paper and what have you. So the plastic is definitely, that sounds really good that you're making. I'm glad that you are mentioning that, because they will eventually, they talk a lot about global warming and this and that and crap. But if those little things that you need to do, they're little, but they're important. I mean, right, recycling and so that could be done, because the people in Trinidad, the investors in Trinidad, they're not really thinking beyond the box. I mean, because it asks the question, when last did somebody invented and make a new plant something that they could, forever you have the chief and you have the Trinidad Cement Limited and you have Angostura and the rum, and you have even Angostura they have to import from Guyana the molasses or whatever again. So here's my big point of all of this. You have to have a manufacturing base if you really want to get ahead. Despite all the things that talk about AI and all of that, you have to have a manufacturing base. And this country is going backwards. I said many times, and I was telling you the other day, this is the last time. This is the last time to come on board to be a productive and a progressive country, or else they'll be doomed forever. There are some people in Trinidad who are trying to hold you all back from getting there, and it's easy to identify who they are and what is their motive. So, my point about all of this is the only country I know, because when I went to the University of the West Indies, they maybe unlearn and learn some stuff that eventually become redundant. For example, they were telling me that the developed countries are ripping off the developing countries because they're sending all the manufacturing abroad, and we only producing the raw material, like sugar and like oil and petroleum and pitch and what have you, and it's processed abroad where the actual multiplier is taking place.
Yes.
So the value added abroad, and then you import it back into with tariffs are imported back to your country again, and therefore you get that's where the raw material end up back in your country. So I thought, well, we were going ahead with everything. So what did they do instead? They went backwards. They sold off the refinery. They're going backwards because this is not because they were trying to give me an MSc in economics in the University of West Indies, but I couldn't think like the metropole people, like the thinkers of Trinidad who only looking at the metropole and they get ripped off. They have no solution, but they have plenty complaints. So that was not all. They shut down the refinery again, making sugar. And the bagasse and all of those byproducts of sugar, they went the opposite way. So instead of you see, you could have done that and move on to something a little advanced. No, you didn't do. You went backwards. So the point of all of this is, they try with a steel mill and look, you know what, that flopped. Somebody took over the steel mill the other day again, and then they have it waiting. I don't know what they're waiting on. They have not restarted it as yet. I think up to end of last year. So all these manufacturing things that Trinidad need to have. I mean, this look at the forum is talking about this a very important kind. I mean, I never thought about that we could do it there. I thought they had something like that because the video I saw that they were doing cardboard, but I never thought about plastics. Apparently not. I mean, when I was a little boy in elementary school, a whole van was to pass around. There's a shout out buying bottles, meaning empty bottles. So there was something in place that at the ground level, at least to collect these material, but getting it off the ground in terms of what Purum is talking about, it never happened. At least I don't know if it happened in the past 20 years, but as far as I'm concerned, I know they have not had developing those kinds of plans, because if I see what this lady in the video is talking about, they're talking about collecting the boxes and having it all piled up nice and well wrapped nicely, like to go somewhere, but I don't know where. Apparently, they're not doing the recycling of boxes and paper in Trinidad. Am I right? I don't know where they send it. They had to send it maybe to America to reprocess us and send it back to them. But on those, and the thing about this, they could get European and even Indian companies to help, because Indian company were buying from the Caribbean. I know an Indian company in America buying scrap material in the West Indies and sending it back to process in India. They're buying these things in the West Indies and sending it back to India. Maybe you could set it up somewhere in Trinidad itself. I'm saying Trinidad is too small for some of these plants to be viable. Therefore, you have to invite the Caribbean to buy the bottles from them, the plastic at a discount, and put it in your plant, and they can export it back to them. So all these things, I'm saying that if the capitalists in Trinidad, and instead of only buying and selling, this is where they need to go. And here's my last point on this. the University of the West Indies had an engineering department, and they're supposed to be very, very good because they were forever existing. All our bright men, women, and go to that in engineering. I don't know what they come out when they come out in engineering. What do they do? I mean, you have one here who's a structural engineer that you come up here. I don't know if you went to UWI too, but there's a lot of them that doing these things. What are they doing after they leave university?
But Doc, understand something, right? Oh, the amount of restraint that the PNM put on some of our people there, that they left the country and went and did better, right?
No, that's it. That is point. So
They
all
left
I'm
the country because
referring to.
if a man had an idea, there's so much bureaucracy to deal with and political hurdles that he couldn't go ahead with it. And sometimes he get an opportunity to get out of the country, and he gone, right? And we have some engineers or people who were junior people, and when they came to the U.S., they expanded so drastically. I mean, look, we have an engineer with us here, Mr. Ken Dalchan. He expanded himself so drastically here in the United States that he could deal with large dams, infrastructure, and all kind of different, civil engineering designs. I mean, he did some work here in the U.S., right here in New Jersey, with one of our major hospitals, University of Medicine here in downtown Newark. So he has a lot of other projects. But I have seen a lot of Trinidadians who, they have expanded and become so professional and they were willing to help. And there's always, a lot of hurdles, and you don't get the collaboration when you try to help your country.
That's right. I'm one of the live example here. I was not given the opportunity or the ways or the tools to study medicine. Now today I went
exactly,
out.
Dr. Parum. Look how hard we were trying to get you in under the PNM government to get into the Ministry of Health there, right?
Nothing. They just don't care. They just only care about a number and the bank account. So we have now with this government the opportunity to bring not to make we have the opportunity now for what we in my time suffered to avoid our young youth or young people or citizens to avoid suffering, right? So,
but Dr. Param, your skills, the scientific skills that you have developed overseas, out of Trinidad and Tobago, is something that is urgently needed in our country. There is in critical need. With your skills.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Right.
Let me wrap this up a little bit, and I'll take over. We'll continue. I'll wrap a little bit up on this first point I'm making. So, also, before they had the University of West Indies, they had the Imperial College of Tropical Agriculture. So, we had the systems in place to do everything, because we had a College of Agriculture to do what? To push agriculture. What happened? You push it down the hill rather than push it up the hill. I don't know what they still have it there. Whatever they're doing, I don't know. But you're not seeing results. So there's a disconnect between your training programs and your development programs. There is a disconnect in the training that you do for your people and the requirement, the human resource requirement in society. You have to fix all of those. And I'm sorry that this government will have to do all of those things. And that's why I'm spending so much time on this strategic, because I understand what you're all talking about, like what Parum, but I have a real bigger problem. The bigger problem I have is, could they fix this? And would the next generation, the next election come around, they'll keep on allowing them to fix? Because that is my problem. I end up with all of these things and I go back to tell you that 4 years from now, all these things I'm saying, all these things we are talking about could go to zero if we don't win that next election. So I will highlight all those issues, but because we need to understand where we were, why we got there, what can we do going forward, and we ask this government, here's how we should go forward based upon all those bad things that are happening and continue to happen. So you guys can continue. I'll come back in about 5 minutes. Give me a minute.
Exactly on point, Dr. Maharaj. Very much, very good. You're on point there. You know, go ahead. Suman want to say something. Go ahead, Suman. I know.
Exactly, Doc. I share your opinion and I share the exact same concern. We may do all we can, fighting among ourselves, trying to get things done. Hey, and then come 5 years from now, these things fall into the wrong hands to our next party, and they undo all the good things you have done. So what's happening is that the country goes into a regression.
Man, let me tell you something.
That's always
The
happening.
cuss
Always.
about the Indian lady and the Indian lady and
Yeah.
one of my Afro friends got cussed out. You following that Indian guy in New York, you know? And so they all them could see, you know, is race and party, and they're so damn intoxicated that they can't see the good things for the country, and no matter what good Kamala do for Trinidad,
I always say that.
they will always be negative. So we
Yep.
have to keep working with the younger people, educating them, creating opportunities for them, because these older heads, especially up in the north, you know, they are looking, they have all this negativity, you know, because they're entrenched in that, they're intoxicated with this kind of nonsense. And, you
Yes.
know, our prime minister, you know, she has to keep hold her head up. I mean, you know, many criticism she get from meeting with Donald Trump over here today. I mean, there's so much nastiness being said, you know, but which one of them
No.
Caribbean countries, which one of them Caribbean countries could stand on their own economically without the United States? Which one of them CARICOM countries could really stand on their own without, because everybody economy floating on US dollar.
And not only
Okay?
that,
Everyone on the island. Go ahead, Sumat.
not only that, whatever they exporting, if that's not sold to the US, where is it going to be sold to? Because remember, tourism, most of the other islands, tourism is their lifeblood.
The majority of the tourists come from where? In the
See
Caribbean.
that? Canada,
Okay.
US, Europe, the foreigners. And if the US decide to put the plug on them, and they already started by not giving them visas, right? We are in such a fortunate position that the US
Why only Mrs. Bisesa and President Ali been invited? Yeah, you understand?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Okay.
So
Because it's because of the conduct of the others.
look, and you know, today Penny is asking the Prime Minister should have been more transparent. What is she going up to New
They
York
were
to
transparent.
discuss?
They were
Yes.
transparent. How transparent Dr. Rowley was.
Well,
How much insult
Why?
we couldn't
Don't
ask
say
a
doctor,
question at
man.
all.
Don't say doctor because that guy
Penny should have
is
take
not a doctor.
Prime Minister Bisesa should have taken Penny with she to meet Trump. Is that what you want?
that's what she wants. But she wants
Tell Penny Hall. Tell Penny Hall.
Penny wise, strong, foolish.
she wants clarity. What is Kamala going to discuss with Trump? She wants to get like
I want some clarity on what the hell they do with money for the last 10 years.
No, but I want clarity on what is Dragon Gas deal about. Nobody knows what that deal is about. That is on the seal and wrap. Nobody knows the terms and conditions of that
And
deal.
what clarity they have why they closed on the refinery.
We outside here had to stay on the tail. I see Richard coming in. Welcome, Councillor Sukdeo. Oh my God, man, long while waiting for. How is things in Cunupia?
Columbia is all right for the time. Man.
You sure? I saw one guy trying to get into 3 houses in Cunupia, you know, today.
trying to get into what?
3 houses, 3 homes, 3 home invasion. He's trying.
Yeah,
he had a big fork in his hand. That's it. That.
Well, you know, it have all type of drama happening in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say Trinidad is not a real place.
Correct.
So our Prime Minister made some headway today. Personally invited by the President of the United States.
Well, making a lot of waves down here with all the various posts and so on. I think what's happening there is that um, people are talking much about it because Rowley had to pay some millions for a phone call, and here you get the phone call wasn't worth anything a couple of years ago.
Well, you see how we money wasted, right? Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, Counselor.
Yeah. So I think this augurs well for our country. We are looking one of the things that citizens are looking forward to are the opening of the refinery with the intervention of Trump, of the U.S. I think that is one thing that everybody looking forward to. So we're hoping for that. If that happens, I think Trinidad will enter into some sort of boom because Guyana, Suriname, there's no refinery over there. So if we are up and running, I think we're in for some real positive growth there.
Plus, we have a long history of experience.
Well, exactly. So
And then I discovered that while traveling on a flight from Houston, that we had a better technology of refining. So one engineer had told me, from the U.S. That's why he was heading to Trinidad. Go ahead.
Yeah, the refinery up, since the days of Texaco. So it's quite a lot of history and experience there with the refinery. So I think that's a real positive that everybody is looking forward to. Yeah.
One thing we have to caution ourselves with the refinery per se is that a lot of refineries now use modern processing to do what's called fractionization, so that no longer our refinery needs 5,000 people to work with. If you notice, Hess company, the oil company, has one in the U.S. Virgin Islands and barely employs 100 people. And that is the biggest in the Caribbean, almost the size of the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery, which was the second largest refinery in the Western Hemisphere.
Well,
these things are more technologically operated rather than manual labor. So you got to be careful of that, to spout the idea that, it's going to create a lot of employment, blah, blah, blah. So we have to be mindful, really, because people may think that this is now a cash cow. The old boys, we need to get back the jobs and all this kind of scenario.
Yeah,
I hope it doesn't pay off.
No, it has to be restructured in terms of the human resource. They cannot go back same old, but at the same time, because of how the infrastructure of the refinery, they may have to continue in the old vein in terms of the labor on it, but not to the extent that it was. So we're hoping
labor could be on the servicing side. There are a lot of small contractors. I know I'm basically living in this area here in Hyderabad. A lot of small contractors who were servicing the oil industry, and that is where the labor was. Not so much in the refinery per se, in the corporate structure of the refinery, but rather in the servicing aspect.
Yeah, the spin-off industries from the refinery.
Yes,
it creates quite a lot of
employment. That's right.
A lot. So it allows for the whole, the economy to spin much more, to generate a lot of employment, a lot of business opportunities, a lot of. So it would be a positive. It would be a plus. That we are there.
Let's hope it works out in our favor.
Yes. I think.
Well, something.
Gentlemen, let's give me 2 seconds here. We have our candidate Rodney Stowe joining us out of Laventille for a few minutes, not too long. Rod. You hear
Hi,
us?
Pleasant
Yeah,
night.
yeah. Just give us a quick rundown what's happening there.
Well, we have our football supposed to be starting tonight. Um, we'll show you a little bit. I have the gentleman that is actually running the tournament right now at Chubacak. This is what the grounds look like, and the crowd, as you can see, trying to keep Laventil alive.
Right. So let that gentleman know that we want to link up with him and be able to cover some of the activities there going forward.
All right.
So, all right.
Yeah.
All right then, Rod.
All right.
And
So
So
basically,
tomorrow night, eh?
So Cedric, this is John Manu who will be running the tournament for the season.
Right.
He will be with us, and we'll link up on some others nights, and we will be covering the tournament all night.
Yes, I'll be covering the game. All right. So just let me know and let's talk. I'm gonna link up with Rodney and we'll talk some on covering the
Okay,
game.
no problem.
All right
So
then. So
Gary, before Rodney goes,
All right, Gary.
Rodney, hold on.
Yeah,
Look, Richard want to say something here. Rod.
is,
yeah, listening.
is
Yeah,
Rodney? You said candidate Rodney. Explain that now before he goes.
Well,
Gary.
yeah, he was the candidate for Lavater
Lavatel
West
West.
Oh, in the general election.
in the
Yeah.
general election. Yeah.
Okay, nice man. Nice to touch base with you, Rodney. We must keep in touch, man. As
Yeah,
an
yeah.
analyst.
I'm not wrong. I'm trying to keep it that going and keep it alive. You know, it's really tough up on this side, and to get people, in this volume coming out on a nightly basis, it's not easy. It's not easy to maintain that.
So what I'll do is I'll you and Richard talk. I'll link you guys up, and then Richard will give you some advice and stuff like that.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
All right
So
then.
yeah, we'll
stay
talk
safe,
again, Rodney.
brother.
All right,
Yeah.
fellas. I have to go now because I have how you say medical guardia.
Yeah, medical emergency. All right then.
All right.
Okay, Rod, do your thing. We'll catch up. Rod,
All
don't forget
right,
tomorrow
cool. All
night.
right,
Tomorrow night. Rodney, tomorrow
right.
night. Don't
All
forget
right.
tomorrow
I'll tell
night.
you. All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, bye.
All right. See you, fellas, next
All
day.
right, Parum,
All right,
take care,
guys. Yeah. So
everyone.
Richard, you could continue talking.
Yeah. So what has been happening now is that a lot of people are looking. What is on the ground is people are commenting in terms of the employment registration that took place prior to the Christmas. There was a huge registration process for advertising 20,000 jobs or something.
Yes,
And
I was in that. Yeah.
people are looking as to when that will commence. And so this is something that people were very excited about. And they're looking forward to when things will really, and what has taken place so far is that the CPEP that was closed down, the CPEP programs, some employment took place there. We had about maybe about 2,000 people, I think, got employment in that arena and keeping the environment clean and so on. But it is not like the CPEP program. It is run by the Ministry of Rural and Local Government. Yeah, so they are paid directly from them. So they have given the corporations a couple teams each so that they are supervised by the corporation personnel, but they are being managed in terms of salary and hiring and so on through the local government there. So that is what happened so far this year in terms of employment and so on a bigger scale. I guess they're probably doing the minor employment at the various ministries, but
Well, if I might ask a question, Richard, you on the ground in what area? Chagonas?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Have there been any sort of maintenance of the water courses in the various communities in and around your area?
Yeah, well, the various corporations doing what they have to do. We in Shogunas is doing that. You know, we have our machineries and things. We recently got some repaired and so on the excavators. So I think we would be in a better place come rainy season.
Yeah,
Later
because
this.
in the next 2 months, the rainy season will kick it more,
Hmm.
start to kick in May month, end of May. So,
Yeah, yeah.
we just have a 2 month window, and that's the reason I'm asking if there's, any sort of planned program maintenance so that what happened last year in October, November doesn't make it
Right,
where it's ugly at this time around. So,
right. So I
Richard, I want
think
to interject here for a minute. So just want to remind you, our civil engineer, Ken Dalcham, will be home next week. All right. And he had some
okay.
designs. I think I sent a little bit to you. I will send some more, but I want him to come meet you. We're trying to organize a meeting with the various ministers like works and local government so that we can make an introduction. So MP Neil Gosain is collaborating with us. I sent Vandana some stuff today. I didn't want to bombard her with it too much, but I did send a little bit with her to her. So you on the east end, we want to bring you in on the discussion. And so you could probably talk to Vandana a little bit more and then on the drain design because there's some self-cleaning design drains, and then there's some so the floodgates that he has. Even though
Hmm.
it can be scaled according to the need. Scale up, scale down. Where is needed be. And I'm hoping down the line while we get the cash flow that we can do a better job with the flow of the water coming down from the Caroni River, like how we have it in the States with a little bit like a kind of dam size kind of gate where you
Okay.
control that flow. So again, our engineer will scale things according to where the need is. If you look at the screen here a little bit, you would see a little bit of what I'm talking about. I mean, you
Right, right.
travel, you know the deal. So along the line with what I'm thinking about is that we need something in this capacity that
Wow, yeah.
would also be we could use it as a power source for electricity, multiple things after we get it under control, and then the expanded water retention area like lake size. I mean, as you come down into the various communities, you create smaller retention areas, and then the pump kind of like the larger pump area in the way according to what area you get, and depends on the funding we get in, but we want to make the recommendation and it's up to how we get the cash flow. We will move forward with it, but I mean, we're going to present all the ideas to our government and on the water management. I mean, we get water flooding, and then in the rest of the year we have no water. The reservoir dried right down right after a flood.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just imagine that. So that
Yeah,
water
well,
all in the central area. Well, there's quite a bit of things we have to share with you. So
yeah. So
Ken will
that
be there down next week, and then
okay.
the team. But Sumant is already there, so Sumant will
All
meet
right.
up with you also, right? So
Right.
yeah.
So
go ahead.
what you showed there remind me when I went to the Hoover Dam. I saw
Right.
Yeah,
things
yes.
where they had that good system there.
Yeah, so
Because
we would scale things according to this, to a smaller size because Carry Dam will require a little more smaller size than the
Yeah,
Hoover
yeah.
Dam, kind of thing. But at least what we need definitely is we need these things in place, which should have been done many years, where we manage that flow, and then I mean we see in the Caroni River not even. I have some pictures. I think I must have deleted to make some space. But let's see here. I mean, these are some pictures. Let's see here from I guess Port of Spain area. I think I deleted some of the pictures. Let's see here. I mean, these are the kind of things that
Yeah, yeah.
basically we dealing with. No, I wouldn't recommend our people going down into the river like what this lady do there because she could slip on a piece of
Yeah, that's
a
dangerous.
debris could go straight into her body. You know,
Yeah,
so
I think
yeah,
that's
so if we're doing this, I would recommend as Kavita pull it out and then we sort it through. You
that's
know,
right.
right, right. So if you just make those recommendations for us on the ground, please. So we want to keep our people safe. So yeah, so definitely, I'm pushing very hard. I sent some designs to our Minister of Works, and she acknowledged it.
Okay,
So so the communication is flowing, and we definitely want to have you on board with the discussions.
well,
So
she's not the acting prime minister. She has a heavy she has a very high status in terms of the getting things done, and she really holds one of the most important ministry works and infrastructure.
yeah, well, between she and Khadija, I think we have it made.
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
two dynamic persons. It's just a matter they getting the funding. And we giving them. We are making sure. Beside Dalchan, we have a few engineers. In fact, I have Ray Fulong on board as soon as I can, you know, get things rolling. I did consult with Ray too. Ray is one of the best that we have down there.
yeah. Really
Uh,
more with the traffic management and traffic
yeah,
systems.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
he's there. He's there. Yeah.
I think he still does private consultancy work for in that.
So we have a team of engineer that will come under Ken's wing, and as we get approval, and we know our Prime Minister has the best intentions. That's a matter of getting the funding, and it will take a little time as we get the funding. But we wanted to present these ideas. I don't want to see us go out of government or at least 5 years reach, and we didn't get some of this infrastructural thing done. You
Exactly.
know, and this is these pumps. These pumps are absolutely necessary to control that massive flow of water. We need to be able to control the flow of water coming from uphill, coming downhill towards central. We have to slow it down. We have to manage it, and then and store in an area where water can pull to reprocess. So is water retreatment plant that we will have to expand on the treatment, capabilities and stuff like that. So quite a bit of things that I have in mind that I discussed with Boss Lady, and that's going to remind her as time goes by. Because she's dealing with so
Yeah,
much. I always remind she. Because I know she's
yeah,
doing a million trillion things, and
yeah.
everybody wants her attention. And then the most essential thing, we want to make sure these things get done. So the large pump house, and all these various things. So Richard, do you have anything else that you want to add at this point that we missed?
No, I think for the time being, we still just looking at the crime situation down here um, within the communities to see how best it can be addressed. With the Zozo bill didn't pass, but that is now they have introduced back the SOE. So we should have things under control, but the communities are more or less trying to, because the police can't do it all. Police can't be
Exactly.
there.
Like I was saying the last time, right? And I even reminded Boss Lady when she sent me that state of emergency thing, right? I
Mhm.
said we need uh, the deployment, how the police is deployed, how they're supervised, how they're patrolling, and we also need to incorporate the community uh, factor of things, because the best police force, these guys can't be everywhere even with the best intentions. All right.
No,
While the government making sure that they have the vehicle and all this kind of thing, every eye that we can have, we're not telling nobody to put themselves in harm's way. We're asking them to be an eye, to see, basically observe and report. So I'm suggesting that we integrate the police together with the community. We had to work that out. I mean, there's some people you can't trust, but go ahead, Richard.
yeah, but that is happening. It is happening in terms of um, like especially with their residential areas and so on. There's now the forming, like I have in Point Pleasant and Chin Chin development there. So there are meetings that they involve the police with the community groups. So things are happening within the communities, and some of the police are really trying to assist the communities. So we're looking to see how things improve there, and a lot of community are coming together with their own little crime group in terms of community air horns and as you're saying, someone says something, they put it in a group chat so everybody's aware of it, and then
Right. So, that way, if we get the communication flowing, we could nail it down. You see, I
yeah,
want to show these guys that coming into our community and an easy escape is not going to happen because we'll
right.
be on you. This is the purpose of the demo. So, as long as we have effective communication, we getting the effective backup from the police. Now, well, that is the important thing. Is the backup from the police when we make that call that we get a swift response. And then this is what we want to make sure that they have the vehicles, which boss lady is trying her best to make sure. So if you guys see any lack of anything like that, say it one time.
Of course, of course. So Gary, let me leave you guys for tonight. Trying to
Thank you,
get something
Richard.
together
Thank
on
you
the
for taking the
computer.
time.
Right, so we keep in touch and we keep abreast of the situation.
Hey, listen, don't forget, I'm Neil going up to Alligator Trace. I think that falls under your jurisdiction. Is it?
That is on the other side.
Other side. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll be in touch.
Okay, guys, take care. Have a good
All right.
night.
All right, take care.
See that? Our counselor took a few minutes to join us, right? And that was well appreciated, gentlemen. Dr. Maharaj, let me hear from you a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm interested in the community group that they're forming, that they're forming across the country. Like we spoke to a girl the other night. She was very much on target. I told her she should continue because I came out of that system, that community group system. I worked in that for a long, long time. So here's what I'm thinking while Mr. Richard was speaking. You know, so if you have all this community group, and that's good, but then what is the problem really? Is this the problem or is it something else? I have in mind, like the
Well, Doc, we because of the large amount of issues that we're dealing with, they're now getting kind of starting and they're getting encouraged because they know now that they have a government that will support them. Before the previous government was undermining these things, so long as we have to get the police force under control where they are functioning as they should function, right? That's the need. That's the backup we need. So if we get
right.
police force we can trust.
So that's the point I'm making. So I have a nice community going, and they have this alarm system or have this app that they're using or community group that there's a robbery. Someone is everybody look out through your window. So okay, so the person enters the house and you call 911 or whatever number it is called there. I don't know, 999 or something like that. And 911 take 45 minutes. There's no sense to have any group. Your community group is useless. All you do, you're telling them. So what is the data you have? And we discussed it way back in when. How long does it take the police to respond? I told you in my case with my niece, it was 45 minutes. And the police station was walking distance. And they could have gotten there on a bicycle in 10, 15 minutes. They had no bicycle. Okay. You have all this vigilante group and all this kind of watchman group and all this night watchers and everything, and then you make a call and the police take 45 minutes. How long you will hold back the guy with a gun? You can't hold him back. He's going to go.
Well, that is what we worked on, but we can't give up, Dr. March. We have to maintain.
No, we're not giving up. We have to. I'm saying they have to do more of those groups, and that's encouraging. Keep it going. So we have to know where the problem really lies. And most likely, it may not. Like the police, if you see something, say something. Okay, I say something. Boom, they shoot me down. What protection do you have when I say something? What do you give me when I say something? The police have money to give informants who tip them off. They are in the budget. They have in the budget to pay off informants. Use the money to pay off your informants and pay for the link up that you're going to get.
Before we get in that part, it's in our best interest living in a community, right, to participate, right? Because we are working alongside the police. What we need, as you're saying, is the effective response of the police, is the trust and confidence that they would not betray us to the criminal, because some of these police
Well,
officers are
right,
entangled.
that's a bigger problem. That's a
Some
real
of the
big
police
problem.
officers are entangled with the criminal element that they
Yeah,
sell you out.
that is a big problem.
They
That is
rent out
something.
they rent out their uniform, they rent out their guns, all these things. So
That's a
how
big
can
problem.
you solve that problem?
Beside renting the guns, they're leaking the information, they're destroying the evidence
Of
in the
course.
police station.
Yeah, you
So
see,
while we doing our part, we need some things taken care of with these things. But this time again, we have to keep in mind that Mrs. B says Prime Minister now. This is not Dr. Rowley and PNM. So we're gonna get more effective support from her and her government as we keep the communication going. And we are not, some of us are not limited to the ministers. We have direct access to the Prime Minister.
But this problem you are raising, I told you, these things are bigger than ministers and prime ministers. These things are big.
agreed.
This
No,
is
Agreed.
what
when they
I'm
infiltrate,
saying is the person
when
in
they
charge of
infiltrate. Hold
managing is
on,
the Prime
hold on,
Minister.
hold on,
She
hold
will
on.
address it.
When these international gang members infiltrate your police, it's difficult to root them out. It is going to happen, but it's going to happen like 10, 15 years. It cannot happen while you change the government every 5 years. Because I'll tell you what, these opposition people sitting around them only waiting for January, whatever month it is, April 2030 to come. Because they see this as a 5 years government. They already measuring the grapes to go back in the office wherever they come from, whatever office they're going to be. They all already believing this is only 5 years, and no doubt they could have some people. Let me make this point. Let me make this point. I wanted to make this point the other night. Also, while we're talking this way, we said that the UNC, the PNM people did not come out to vote. Okay, so because we have a problem with that. Okay, do we know how many PNM people voted for UNC and how many UNC people stayed home and didn't go to vote? I know UNC have bad people with them. I mean, when I say bad, I mean they don't have a moral conviction to stick with the party in thick and thin. They're quick to say, "Okay, I fed up. I'm going to walk on, throw up their hands and walk away and say, let them lose. I'm going to Manzanilla. I'm not going to vote anyway. They take up the children and their wife and they go about their business. And then after the election, they come. They even want to hear because they already gave up on the UNC. They already give up on Kamala. Look how much. So the problem I having with is it's possible that you had more PNM crossover. Many of them are stay home, but you have your UNC people who had a problem. Look at you in your house. You want to solve. Look at it in your house. My point is not that we're hating. We have to deal with our own people first to make sure that they are carrying the message, and then because we want, because there's a lot of things you all are talking about, everything you all mentioned, excellent, but you couldn't get it done if they throw you out in 4 years' time. So I'm going back to that thing. That is why I'm saying all these nice things that the Prime Minister is doing up in Doral and in Florida and having all his ringside seat with the most powerful president in the world will go to zero because they already seen this negative. This is not a bad thing. They're already telling you how the bad this is, and she's selling her own people out, and she's this and she's that, and then and they didn't. I know. So I want to talk. I want to come back to that a little bit. So I want to leave that because that's not what we're talking about now. So I just want to stick back to this police thing.
Go ahead.
So while Richard was talking, I was thinking about. You remember that carnival mall I talking about? They're trying to state of emergency. They'll keep this state of emergency have to be it might be forever. Some form of state of emergency might be for years to come. As Gary mentioned, the police is corrupt. Even then, even so, you need more of these state of emergencies. If you have that corruption problem, which you have to go along with the state of emergencies, so that the good ones will be able to take care of the corrupt ones in a state of emergency. So I was
you are a former police officer.
Yeah,
you
if
know
they
the
want to
job.
try something else, it would be nice that they could take my advice and try to flood for 30 days, flood the system with police everywhere. And
Ex-
you know what? There are lots of
exactly,
SRPs.
exactly. That is what we have to do. The deployment, how we manage the deployment, uh, and the response.
So
These are not scientific things.
yeah, let me finish it. All the detectives will come out in uniform and roam the streets because you have no crime committed. So you don't need a detective to be in office to wait for a crime to happen for him to go and visit. There's no crime happening because everybody on the street. There'll be no crime. And you could also re-enlist some of the ex-police officers who might still have powers of arrest. So I have to just make a not out of office and put them on the street. Those good ones who could vet them out on who they are. So you already know who inside. You have people who are infiltrated. Those good ones that you have who retired in 60 years of age or 50 something years of age, you bring them in for 1 year to come contract, a 6-month contract or something like that, and flood the street. The police every corner. You must see 3 and 5 on 5 police every corner. And you know what you could also do? In the evening, you're going to command the WASA vehicles and use those vehicles because you may not have enough. Because you want to flood the street with vehicles and police everywhere. You'll see them every half a mile. 2 policemen you've seen 2 and 3 and 4 and a squad car up and down whole. Do that for 30 days and see what happens, and then do it another 30 days if you're getting results. And another 30, you have no state of emergency. They can't stop you from. They can't talk about state of emergency and the rights and this one right and that one have obligations and blah. We have a city we have a state, a police state and blah blah. All those kind of negative things. Flood you don't have enough money to hire full-time policemen going forward. That will take you like about 5, 6, 7 years to get enough. You need, if you have 4,000 now or 5,000, how much you have, they need another 5,000 or 6,000, how much they have.
But,
They
but,
need to
but the
double.
5,000 we have, Doc, they have to be on patrol. They have to remain engaged.
Right.
Not
That's not telling that in the meantime you can't. So you could, if you don't, you bring, because you want to be like 24/7. This is going to be 24/7, So you want to have
exactly.
additional SRPs to come out for a 30-day period. And those in uniform and those in plain clothes and working in the government, in the commissioner office, they must also come out. The commissioner office, instead of having 12 people in there, should have only 3, and the others on the street. And you believe me, they could do that. And every superintendent office have about 10, 12 people there also. Put them out on the street for 30
Well,
days.
the superintendent has to make sure they're aware of what their officers under them is doing. How well are they supervising? Because the thing went to hell, and the people lost confidence. So it went to hell under their watch. But anyway, the Prime Minister revitalizing that 500 vehicles that they dumped there, and that could be fixed. So she's taking care of that, right? So there's going to be no excuse for vehicles in the meantime. So I mean, it's you've been there, you've done the job. I can't tell you how the job has been done. They have to maintain consistency and stop giving people a hard time when they come to report to them for help.
So if they keep on using state of emergency, this will continue. So how long you say a state of emergency is a temporary fix. So you have to bring out the new laws to replace the state of emergency, so these fellas would stop crying. And you don't have to care about the crying, but you will. Eventually they're crying enough, people are going to hear them.
But you could bring all the law you want. The problem we have here is not the law, is the enforcement of the law.
We're not
improperly enforcing the law we have.
Yeah. Well, you don't have enough people. They have vehicles. They have this. They all have a million excuses. They will tell you. So
you could print the law. You could put the hanging rope on every lamppost in the country. That won't stop these criminals. We have to fight them with force. We have to show force.
Well, that's what the state of emergency give them. We give them the power to use force. More force. Because they have power to arrest on suspicion of any crime. So I don't know how much benefit the state of emergency really is, other than them lawyers making a lot of crap, talking a lot of crap in the parliament there.
But the state of emergency gives police a certain amount of powers, right? And it also allows, I guess, the military to participate in the policing. So that is where the state of emergency helps.
Yeah, but
But
you could bring out you could bring out the military without the state of emergency.
I think that because of the legal structure of things, you need that in order to give the police a little more privilege without the warrant, I think, to search, and they're doing that. But
No, no, they cannot do it. The military have to be accompanied by a police
yeah,
officer.
no, not the
But
military. I'm talking about the police privilege expanded.
Yeah.
Now, the military should be assisting the police where the area looks could appear to be hostile. That's where the military needs to be in those kind of areas where it is possibility for hostile engagement with the police, right? So while the police is there, they should be there, ready to assist the police, fully engaged. That they use, the every deterrence strategy to cause a person to change their mind. And some of them so bold faced that they will even fight you while there too. They will make a scene, but again, consistency. I see consistency. I mean, you know what I'm talking about because you did the job, and that is where we need to be at. We need to be consistent. We need to remain fully engaged. We can't run hot and cold. Not in these times.
And while you're saying that, I listened to what is going on there with some people, and you could see they talking about when they sit down in parliament, the opposition, they're talking as though there's no victims in this thing. There's only one set of people in the problem, and that is the people who committing the crime. They think that the system is weighted against them. I have never heard none of them on that side talk about we are sorry for the victims who get robbed and raped. No, that is never mentioned. That alone is enough to really rule them out as an interested party in this whole thing. And they should never see that office again. They should always be in the opposition or defunct because they have nothing positive to help the people in Trinidad. All these things I mentioned tonight is everything was caused by those who were in government for so long. All this running of agriculture,
Exactly.
all these
Preach.
things
Go
about
ahead. Preach.
destruction
Preach.
of the engineering, all of these things I'm talking about, the police and everything. This was a condition laid by these people who had the mantle of leadership for so long. That's a mistake. And they say you can't blame the people. I would blame the people of Trinidad, or that small section of people of Trinidad and Tobago, who kept this lazy, good for nothing government power for so long. That we are reaping the luxury of that inefficiency, so much so that many of us had to leave and run away to another country because there was no future there. And that is why I'm saying it's the
Now, you
second
remember what
time.
they did? In 2015, they brought Governor Patterson to Trinidad and Tobago, accusing the Kamala Persad-Bissessar government of being racist and discriminating against black people, when it was the other way around, where Kamala Persad-Bissessar was putting food in the mouth of black people who never got, she put the kind of help that they would have never gotten under the PNM, right? And you know what I mean? And then the black doesn't belong to us, so because Indian and African black the same way. So this American description is totally out of sync with who we are, right? But anyway, so this is what they push. They push a racial agenda, and the 2020 election they spin it again. What the prime minister said, she said blank, they turned it into black. And they switch everything around, and about a race, the race, right? Even at this time, they're trying to say that she's discriminating against Afro-Trinis, and what basically she's doing is restructuring these CPEC style government, local government type of jobs, where you have long-term longevity in there, where you can get benefits. If you have a permanent job, you can get a loan. If you have a contract job and a CPEP job, you can't get a loan. And then create other opportunities alongside that. Now, the only deal is now she is also fighting to revitalize the economy because of the level of destruction these people do. So, I mean, these things and all the criticism of our Prime Minister going to meet President Trump, I mean, it is not taking into consideration the fact that we are dependent on the United States to revitalize our economy. Our dollar floats on the US dollar. Our economy floats on the US dollar. Our economy is dependent on U.S. technology and support and engagement. And you will see how quickly that will revitalize as soon as we get things sorted out there. Go ahead, Dr. Maraj.
Yeah, let me just say something again. I want to go into the CARICOM thing, but I want to go there yet. I wanted to stay back and the things I'm talking about here now. So I heard Richard tonight. Also, I didn't get a chance. I was going to ask him some, but only was a little longer so we could engage him a little bit more. So here's what I was going through my mind when he was talking about the government, the current government, advertise for people to come and make an application to get a job. And he was saying, I think there were thousands of, how many thousand he called?
20,000 applications.
20,000 applications went in. And I don't know what he was saying, but I think he was saying that is a problem. What I didn't understand, what is the problem? Anybody know what the problem is? What is the problem?
Well, from my perspective, I can tell you what the problem is in that. Though.
No, what he was saying. Did you hear what he said? No, I don't know.
He said, well, 2,000 were absorbed from this former CPEP and so on, and their jobs were regularized now, and they were employed with the rural, Ministry of Rural Development. 2,000 out of that, how much? But this is a separate issue. This 20,000 jobs.
Yeah.
This is separate from that. So that 2,000 he's talking about was the CPEP people who was laid off, and 2,000 of them were re-employed back on different terms and conditions of employment.
So those are not from the 20,000, no?
No, absolutely not from there. Not from
there.
So
did anybody from the 20,000 get employed as far as you know?
As far as I know, yes, some of them. But if I may say, a lot of them got employed, a lot of them meaning maybe 1,000 or so, but on the lowest end of the ladder. So
because if you have 20,000 applications, it means two things. Either these people looking for a job and they don't have one, or they're trying to change jobs. Is also.
No, but you see, the Prime Minister did something. She looked at the whole public service, and there were a lot of vacancies, pretty close, like 8,000 or 10,000 vacancies in the establishment. So if a school was supposed to have 400 or 300 teachers, they only had 70 or 120. So when they add up all the vacant positions, which has never been filled, because the government saves money like that by not filling the positions. That's one.
So what I'm trying to get out of Richard, and maybe I hope Gary talked to him again. They had to deal with. Because they have to really know what they're saying, because if 20 people apply and you have 12,000 vacancies, it's one of two things: that those people who applied are not qualified to hold the jobs that you have, so that they cannot be employed. So you cannot say that that's a negative.
No.
Because you cannot match, you have to match your skills with what is against what you're looking for. If they don't have those things, then the 20,000 application is zero, because that is not a negative. That is still a wash, because the wrong people are applying for the right job, or the right people, you cannot get the right people for the right job. So part of a human resource is to make that fit. If it cannot fit, then the 20,000 will still be 20,000. You understand what I'm not hearing this argument being made. I don't know what is in the saying, but I think I was reading something last week, or sometimes somebody talk about how they promised 20,000 job and they get zilch, or they get 1,000, they only employed 1,000, something like that. And so this is not CPEP, you see, because those CPEP people thinking like CPEP, just show up with a shovel in your hand and you're ready to work. because work is do nothing. Sign a register and relax and go when the hour come. So this is not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with that kind of employment that is productive enough so we're getting something in return for what we're giving. It's a give and take. Not like the PNM who do, because that's how they're looking at this, Once a man show up for work, you have to employ him. So 20,000 should have been employed, and they say, that is a good URP. That's a good CPEP. That's how CPEP does work. So they want CPEP. They don't want any change. You know why? Because that is how they do things in the past, and they're very conservative, and they like it as it used to be. And let me just tell Gary this one thing. And you two, and whoever listening again, the PNM who think that in 5 years they will return, their thing is this. When they look and see so many non-Indian in the UNC party, they have a problem with that. And that is why they're pushing the race thing so often, because that's the only card they can play and try to win with. Play that race card, because they are very unhappy when they see the unity of Trinidad and Tobago which always work against them. That was the problem in Eric Williams days. That was the problem in Chamber days. That's the problem in Manning days. And that's the problem right now. So you all do not attack that.
Doc, and because it might take the Prime Minister a little time because of the damages they did to the economy, that has not been brought up, Now the Prime Minister and the ministers are traveling overseas to try to get investors back to revitalize our economy. Now, the thing the Prime Minister promised, she didn't say she could wave a magic wand. She said she will take care of it, but it will take time. Right? Because why will take time? The PNM government destroyed Petrotrin, which was our biggest source of revenue, right? And now, so we have to fix Petrotrin situation. We have to fix the other economic resource that they damaged. Our ministers are out there from Dubai, India, Guyana, you name it. They are traveling. I think I see Dave Tanko in Peru. Recently. So they are doing the work to create that revitalization of our economy, and the business people, the investors are gravitating to our government. They are gravitating to our government. So
if you are, that's right, because you are not a PNM, you would say that. But if I'm a PNM, I would say the opposite. That what you're doing, all that you're doing, but you still send home 30,000 people and 40,000. You're only looking to care yourself and your people. You don't care about we, the people on the ground. That is that. If I was PNM, if I was PNM, and I would say shameless. But I don't want to put the shameless part because I'm a BN. I have plenty of shame, and maybe they don't have. So leave the shameless part out. If I'm a PNM, that's how I'll argue. I would tell my black people, look, all you follow me. Don't follow them. They will not give you nothing. They will only say about their own people. I would make that same argument. So because they are very look, the Calypsonian go use this thing comment. They are very uncomfortable because they don't like when they see Indian and African uniting, because they are behind me. They are supported and part of those original call them 1%ers, but really those are the original.
Well, the 1%ers using the poor African people. They're making the mischief, but they're using the poor African people and riding their back.
Whatever works, they're going to use politics is like a nasty game. They will use anything. They want to win election the next time around.
They are fueling that.
Especially when we all can put this back. You all can put this back in motion, and they inherit the kingdom again. Beautiful. Every they run it for 10 years again, and they come UNC come and build again, and then they jump back and they enjoy the next 20 years. Beer Hawaiian, because you build it back and they have nothing to show.
Look here, Minister Sturge and Vandana Mohit was giving out money. This disaster relief that was way a few years ago that the people didn't get under the PNM, right?
Right.
They out there in the constituency giving the disaster relief that should have been given many years ago. Okay? Seen it here? Our government is working. Our prime minister is overseas negotiating. Watch.
But that's only in your area, your constituency. You're not doing anything for us in our constituency,
No, no, but what should
Mr.
you know?
Gary.
They are taking the many. It's happening to many constituency. Look, this is up in Toko San Grande. But watch our prime minister is overseas, and she's there negotiating on behalf of TNT. Look, our Minister of Foreign Affairs. Look, Barry Powderat. And
So
I mean, there's some more pictures I'll load up, but I'm just saying. So they are out there working. They're working.
right. But I not seen that, I seen them taking a trip and supporting a president who's doing wrong things in the world. So I cannot support that. So
Regardless
you
of
are,
who the president is of the United States, our business dealings is with the United States, regardless of who the president is and what he's doing inside or outside the country. His conduct with Trinidad and Tobago is in a different context. Whatever he does with other country has nothing to do with Trinidad and Tobago. Our prime minister was well received, right? And granted favor, and that is in the benefit. This is the mother seeking interest in feeding her children. That is what she's there.
and he liked this Kamala, but he don't like the next Kamala.
Yeah, he liked this Kamala. He loved this Kamala.
He liked this Kamala. He don't like the next one.
You like the Kamala, the Kamala.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
like the
want
Kamala.
you don't like that one.
She found favor in the meanest presidents in the world, right?
Yeah.
And Trinidad and Tobago is in special favor with United States. And some of them are so nasty and wicked because they never could have gotten this. All right.
Yeah.
And our minister of defense has made some agreement with the United States to get more resources, right? Because more resources, he said it there. He had a meeting with them, right? Look, here's the picture, right? So he's requesting backup. We are doing the necessary things. So this year, same time, it's going to be a different. Is there going to be a horse of a different color? There's a lot of things going to be in place in comparison to this year, because we're just scratching the surface. Good guy, Dr. Maharaj.
So let me make this last point on that.
You make all the points you want now, man. We have all the time to give you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Stick to this. So here's what is happening now. So we're trying to. You all trying. I say you all, we all. They're trying to bring back the refinery, and tonight. Cement was talking about 100 people being employed to a refinery somewhere in the Virgin Islands. So
Yes,
if and when they bring back this refinery, I hope the OWT will understand that the numbers are going to be smaller than they are accustomed to, and that something can be worked out and they wouldn't get angry and pick up their marbles and go home. Now, I'm saying this to let you know that this price of oil that we're experiencing these days would not go down back until there's some kind of agreement happens in the Middle East. And even then, the price would not go back to $50 or $60 a barrel. When they bring the budget out, I told you all, I was a little comfortable with the $63, I think they put their barrel of oil. No, and I said maybe that they know some things I don't know. Of course, they were not able to predict this, but all the indicators were showing that the price of oil will be lower than $60. So I was happy that they were using 63. Now 63 sounds really, really cheap because it is around 80 and 80 something.
92, yeah, as of yesterday.
Right, they hit 90 yesterday morning, Friday morning. This, you get used to it. This will be, as long as this war continues, there is no going back to no 60 anymore. As long and even when like I said, even when the war stops, there gonna be a new equilibrium. Perhaps it will be maybe in the 60s or the 70s, if and when that will happen again. So right now, by the end of the year, you should be touching on $100. 99% of the analysts who will study these things are betting that it will be $90 on a little bit. Many are going higher, much higher than that, but that is where they expect it to be the end of the year. And the longer this war drags on, because Iraq took about nearly a year, over a year, Iraq to settle something, to get something going. This one will take at least a year or 2 or 3, because this is not going to settle like this. This is not going to be the kind of demands Trump is making and the kind of things that are happening from the other side, because they're going to give up. These are countries that for hundreds of years they're in existence. They have a whole history. You can't wipe them out by overnight and do this wave of a one. That won't happen. So this will be long and drawn out. And here's the point I'm making on this. Because if the price of oil keep on rising, it is not beneficial to you at all whatsoever. Because you have to end up shelling out more money to pay the Americans for the oil. Because if it is because you have nothing to gain from this. You produce a little bit of oil, you might get something, but you have to give it back. You get from the right hand, you give it back to the left hand. Why? Because the oil price is going to go up, the gas is going to go up, the lubrication will go up, everything. So the money, if you had a refinery, you would have been on top of the world. So that alone should tell you this PNM should never come back again. That punishment they put in us through, they should never see the walls of power again. Because there's no, you're happy to see this. In days gone by, you could have thrown, you could have wine, woman, song and dance. You could have done all those things, like sailor come ashore, drink and give away. Let's be merry. Like Trinidad, give away money, give money Guyana, they give money Jamaica. Everybody want more. How much oil you want? How much money you want? We were the piggy bank for all of them, the cash machine for all of them. So now you're trying to, and again, what you're trying to do really is try to be a cash machine again, so I could give us some more CARICOM. What's the matter with you, Dottish people? The higher I climb, the better off you are, because I'll give you something in the interim. Help me, push me up. Don't pull me down, please. Push me up. No, they're pulling you down because they want to be in CARICOM. And you could see the kind of cheapness, the kind of anti-intellectual arguments are being made. They're so 1940s that they're not making a new argument in a new era. And that is why I am angry about these people, because they have caused that country to be down where it is. I don't like government, but I told you, but that's how it is, right? I don't like government doing anything because I know they're lazy and they can't do anything. However, that is not reality in the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago. So therefore, I have to live with a government doing so many things, and they can't do nothing effectively. So the price of oil is rising up. You might be clapping, but you're clapping, the next hand will clap back, because you have to pay it back for the American oil distiller, whatever. The oil and the oil and the products of oil that you use in the automobile. I'm talking about the grease and the oil and the gas and the diesel and everything. Everything is going to rise and everything going to go up, and therefore, you are washed. You get nothing. You gain nothing. So you go $140 a barrel. Well, you're in trouble, because you have to shell out so much money that you have to. That is what the recession. Before that recession will happen. So in the midst of recession, you have a war going on. The thing about the war is that Trinidad had nothing to gain from this war, because all the bombs are not made. No, they don't make any armory. They make nothing. Everything is made up here, or some in Europe, or some other countries. Israel, they're making a lot of these things. So they have the world today. If you have investment in the bomb industry, or the guns making industry, or the bomb making industry, keep your investment there. Don't move it out, because you're good for a good couple of years. Some real bread to make there. Trinidad, not in these kind of things. But let me just make this last point on that. Trinidad have an investment in the sovereign wealth fund. It's about maybe 4 billion. They go down from 8 to 4 now. They half it. That should never. They should never be using the principal. They should be using only the proceeds of that wealth fund. The proceeds was enough to keep them to do what they want to do and leave the principal intact, so they could have utilizing the proceeds. So I know why it's going down from 8 to 4, because the market has been good for the past 4 or 5 years. So the proceeds would have been twice. If I have some investment, I could look. I went in and do a stop loss order the other night. But you all will have the investment. I didn't go because I put some stop order because I imagine that some of the investments I have are going to lose a lot of value, and I had to protect myself, which I did. The same way that the government have the sovereign wealth fund that they opened somewhere in the early 2000 something. That principle should have never been used. If the principle was 8 million, that should have been there forever. But you could use the proceeds and keep the principle intact when they have a hardship like now and even a little bit before now. So I want to make that final point to tell you that they're mismanaging whatever, and they're paying. They're paying him millions of dollars.
They raped the treasury. The Heritage and Stabilization Fund was created by Basti Pandey, UNC government, right? That was our savings backup. They destroyed that. Go ahead, Dr. Marley. I want to disrupt you.
And they do it when oil was $8 and $20 to $15 a barrel. They're doing like when there's $100 a barrel when they're under the PNM, 140 and they're under the PNM. So the proceeds of the sovereign wealth fund was enough for it to run the business and have enough foreign exchange to do capital investing, and it could leave the principal intact. Only when hard times hit them, and put it back when good times hit you. Put it back into the sovereign wealth fund. So the proceeds, you know how much money they're paying to manage this fund? $32 million a year. Just to manage it. I could manage it for half that price. And I get pretty much the same result. But that's not happen. But I could give look. I don't have the kind of investment machine to do the AI and make predictions. But I think they're spending too much to manage that wealth fund. But maybe UNC could look at that, and they could save a few $1 million there by changing hands.
Using AI to forecast. Suman could discuss that with it. Suman, did it?
Yeah, they're using it right.
I hear. Listen to Doc.
Because they're using this expensive people and they get a money's worth. They manage it one, they're not giving it. Maybe they could have rebalanced the portfolio. The other night, you want to rebalance my portfolio because I see trouble coming down. Did they train that people rebalance? They're supposed to. That's why they train them to $2 million a year.
Yep.
Because they're supposed to rebalance the portfolio.
The whole stock market we need a rebalancing right now. All these AI bubbles and all these things.
You have to. Because I went and did mine the other night. It was Friday night, I think. This weekend gone.
I crashed Monday morning was the best time. Anyway, Doc, you've seen the whole in Trinidad. We need the balancing of the economy as well. We have not found that equilibrium as yet. And I don't think we'll find that unless we start to get cash flow in the country. The cash flow
in terms of which equilibrium are you referring to?
Our economy, the economy of TNT, our TNT economy, it is a demand side pull without the adequate Forex to back it up. This ain't going to be in a state of equilibrium or close to equilibrium. No state really is in equilibrium, but close enough unless we can start to generate cash flow. When are we going to generate cash flow? Right now, we still a consumerized society. We import still over 90% of our food. Right? So when you look at all these structural things that needs to be done and the rate at which the systems are being implemented, I think it's going to take more than 5 years to do that, to bring this thing back into some semblance. Because we have projections, yes, but projections are just what it is, projections. One geopolitical issue may come up again in the next 4 years that throws everything out of whack. Nobody predicted that the price of oil going to be $92 yesterday. You can see that. Just one incident in Iran is showing that.
No, but you could have seen it 2-3 weeks back.
Yes,
You could have seen it because as soon as you notice American put in all those ships and battleships, I was telling you all the other day that when they went to the Caribbean and they have them floating in the island, I'm telling you, it costing them, I think I must have, I don't know if I tell you how many million, but it costing them millions and millions of dollars a day to maintain those battleships in the Caribbean.
And somebody
so they cannot keep that forever. They will have to do something, and they can't pull it back because they go say if you pull it back, they go say you pull it back, you wasted the money. The government will have to replace the president. Luckily, they can't recall before they did. So you could have seen it a month ago. That once they're moving all this battleship down, they start to make some moves because you could have seen something is going to happen.
Correct. Geopolitical things can happen in a week or two. A different day we go, who knows, in Yemen after, or they may go into Pakistan after to disarm the nukes. You don't know where they're going to be after. So with this high oil prices, exactly as you're saying, we may earn more, but you also need to pay out more as well. Yeah. You know, we produce 55,000 barrels of oil per day. That's the average right now. Right? We're going to get some more money because the oil price is higher, but we have to also buy. So we end up, it washes out, in short, it washes out. Yeah. What you earn is what you have got to spend back. To buy back the gas and whatever you have to buy. Oil and, refined products and what have you. So Trinidad is in a wash right now. There's no downside, neither there's any upside. Yeah. But this increase in the price of oil. Yeah. Right? So that's my take on it. I don't see it coming back to equilibrium in the short term. No way. It will take a couple of years, unless, as I said, certain things can happen that can expedite it, yes, getting the refinery back on stream in a year rather than 3 years. That can kickstart. The longer it takes, the longer the process takes, the longer it pushes back that equilibrium. The role of the oil field workers trade union in this thing, all they may say, hey, you know what? A lot of my members were employed. Now it's only 150. What's that? What's that? You, the government, need to answer to me. I supported you in the last election. What's going on there? So these things have to be managed carefully. Because they will see it that, instead of the labor-intensive nature of that refinery, now it's a high-tech refinery. Because remember, whenever a company comes in, they may care about your level, for they want to look at the efficiency of operation. That is how they maximize their wealth. That's how they maximize their returns on their investment. So, given that, given that scenario, don't expect you're going to have 4,000 and 5,000 people working in the refinery. That is the bygone era. It's going to happen like that. And if the unions decide to kick up against it, we may have some instability there. So we all have to look at these things. And if people don't see the realism in it all, meaning that, a lot of people, a lot of Chinese will say, oh, they're making money now. They make now additional demands on the government. Right? So we're not in a sweet spot as yet, but we're hoping that it will be. Hopefully, if the talks with the refinery goes well, talks with Guyana, Suriname goes well, talks with the Dragon Gas works out, talk to the Chinese to bring back the oil refinery and so on. Also, the deep drilling of the Chinese of the northeast coast of Trinidad, if that works out, fine. So there's a lot of things happening. A lot of moving
Not forgetting
parts.
India. Not forgetting India is involved in
Yes.
in investing
No,
in assisting in many ways. You know,
several
so we
ways,
have that
Gary,
backup.
several ways in that I understand they cut a deal with the US to get some of the Venezuela oil. And if whoever owns the refinery in Trinidad, we are hoping that if the Indian oil company owns oil.
You know, India is going to seek, is going to make a strong commitment because I'm sure Trump offer him something into not buying Russian oil. So then that you have the
yes, as an alternative. As an alternative,
I'm good.
They will say, okay,
I think no, Gary. I think earlier today, this morning, that they grant India a waiver to buy Russian oil.
Correct,
Well,
absolutely correct.
that's a temporary negotiation.
Why would you temporary right now? So, but
what I'm saying, the greater value is going to come and source is going to come between Trinidad and Venezuela when they start getting things up within 2-3 years. So there's going to be a greater buy-in from that region there, you know.
So
and not forgetting Guyana. Not forgetting Guyana, and I think some things are popping up in Jamaica too because they're getting ready over there too.
But the Dragon deal, they already have the waiver there.
The Dragon deal is small, man, compared to everything that's coming in there. So what I'm telling you is Jamaica, Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and who knows what else will pop up in the region that they may discover. And guess who is managing all of that? The United States.
So the onus is on us to be in good terms with the US, regardless of whichever person is the president or whichever person, however they manage their economy or what they do in other parts of the world. We have to look after ourselves, and you know, we may say Trump is a bad guy. Hey, right now he's our damn savior. So
his relationship with Trinidad and Tobago is a vast difference compared to his relationship towards other places, right? So I mean, So we don't meddle with his relationship towards other people. We are concerned. Our Prime Minister and our government is concerned about Trinidad and Tobago. All right, and she is doing what is necessary to feed her people. Okay, and everything is in her favor, and everybody will see soon that what she's doing is in the best interest of everybody.
I just want to get this point in as you talk about India, because in the fight with Trump and India, Modi won. Go ahead. Yeah, all them guys came in, but he didn't. He gave him a 5.
Well, Modi is fully equipped to play hardball,
now he's equipped. Before they were not, but now he has taken it to Trump and tell him exactly. In fact, he don't even take Trump's phone calls any longer. Yeah, because you see, what Modi has done is played it both ways. He lined up with Israel, and Israel is lined up to the US. So in other words, India is a big player in this thing. India, Israel, USA. And Modi
1 second, guys. Good night, Nadira. Nadira is going to sleep way up late. Thank you, Marilyn, for joining us. And let's see who else here. Anna is joining us here too. Anna is here. And everyone that's listening, thank you for joining us. Go ahead, gentlemen.
And Modi has also lined up with the Islamic countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Bahrain, and everybody, Qatar, and what have you.
African country, Modi's top dog over there.
Top dog. So when you look at it, he's
in fact,
both sides.
Modi's more popular than Trump over there.
By far. Now, check what's going on. Trump today allowed India to buy more Russian oil. But who do you think that refined oil that India refines, who do you think is the market for that oil?
But how long do you think that's going to last with Trump allowing India to buy Russian oil, especially with Russian contradicting the USA?
How long has the Ukraine war going on? Most of the diesel refined from Indian purchasing Russian oil goes to Ukraine. And the refined gas goes to Europe.
Yes.
So you see, this is right now. Europe is starved of oil because of this Iranian situation. The Strait of Hormuz is blocked. So what happens? Think about it. Modi is a sharp, smart guy. This guy really got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. Playing it both sides.
Modi's a good chess player, man.
Big time. You bet it. You bet that. He had
he's you see, so here's my point about all of this, because if your honorable Prime Minister is having Mr. Trump in her corner, which no doubt, and Modi in her corner, which is no doubt, she's the best player in the world.
Right. But talk now, go ahead.
Gary. Yeah, I know you love your Prime Minister a whole lot,
but go ahead. You're recognizing it. Go ahead.
This is the reality.
You're calling it. Go ahead.
So she and the people of Trinidad, the smart people in Trinidad, would use this to marginalize the PNM and keep them in the bandbas in the forest for many years to come. Because they must not see the offices in Port of Spain or wherever again, in ministries and everything. They should be in opposition, if not out completely, because the harm that they have done to this country and bring it to where it is, they have no damn shame to be looking for power to come back in power. They are no shame. They
really don't. After what they did to the country, and they still don't have no shame. Let me tell you something. A lot of the decentralization plan is suggested I made to my Prime Minister. Okay, that came from me too. I don't know who else, but that decentralized plan, that multi-purpose governmental building that's going to be built in Central is something I want for Sandy Grande and other places of the country too, right? But there's a lot of things in store.
Yeah.
So she's playing the right cards. Everybody write off, especially some UNC people who wrote off in those years. Remember, she's not a chance. They're going to work. Why she don't go home and stay home and blah 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 blah. All this crap. Your UNC people was against.
It had one recently, 2 days in the game, and he think he could be Prime Minister and political leader on we side, and create so much havoc, and she gave him a chance, right? To be, I mean, from the other side. And all of a sudden, somebody fool here and tell me he could be leader and lead the party.
But in all seriousness, I think she's doing the right things. And I hope we are able to convince the rest of the population that this is so. Because one little spark can ignite a fire. Especially if it's a race spark, which PNM has always used at an election time. Also, should she, meaning Mrs. Bissessa, come around and get this refinery up and running and get all these arrangements with Guyana, Suriname, Dragon Gas, everything going nicely, and the PNM come and get their hands on government, what do you think is going to happen? As they have always done it in the past. No government, no opposition ever stayed for more than 5 years, except Pandy for a little while? None of them. Whether the country was running smoothly or not, that didn't make a difference. Whether they had money or not, that didn't make a difference. It's just that historically it shows that every 5 years, no opposition can rule for more than 5 years. The PNM has history on their side, big time. So we have to be ultra careful. Doc, I share your arguments on this side that we may do all the nice things, we may do all the right things, we may be able to turn around the economy and so on, be able to solve the Forex issue. And after 5 years, all of this comes to naught if the country goes back into a PNM hands. You know, that's
So that
definitely
is so she had to cut some deals with these world leaders, and you have to get your UNC people to start with to tell them to behave themselves and come back into the fold. And all those supporters you had in the last election, you want to encourage them to stay with you because the alternative is a million times worse. And you could lay it out how worse it will become, like what are we doing all night? Telling you to go back to those days is like you're going back to suffocate. You're going to drink back your own vomit. You can't do that. That's unhealthy. That's not good. That's bad. That's terrible. You're going forward only. And let me tell you this also. They're talking about everybody win. When Pandey was, UNC has always been everybody win when they're in power. So don't come and talk about everybody winning. Everybody win is not no new slogan. It has always been there. It is bring to the fore now. But they
Well,
were
it's
doing it one
a
time
reminder.
when
It's a
Canada win
reminder.
that time too. Everybody win that time too. So the good thing about the PNM people is they win both times. They will win when the PNM there, they will win when the UNC there. But the good thing about it is when the UNC there, they have more to get because the UNC growing the economy, they're making Trinidad a better place and a place where it's a real place. It's not a place that we think is a failing country, but it's a forward, progressive country that could take them to higher heights. And that's where you want to go. You can't be living in a country that is going down the hill and all those criminal elements is there because you're a backward country. If you get forward, the criminal will find a corner. You'll get rid of them quickly as you grow the economy, down the criminals. Up the economy, down the criminals. That is what they need to be singing. That sound like a pressure group in like a marching somewhere. Up with the GDP, down with the criminal. And you could say this chorus all along. Because they had to deal with this crime, and the only people who can deal with it is the UNC and people who sympathetic to the UNC. The other people write them off. They must take a exit and don't ever come back again. Because they're feeling sorry for the criminals, and they're not feeling the real victims are the ones who have to languish with nobody in the corner. And now
that's
the
right.
UNC trying to give them a fair deal. Because
But
that is not right. That is what happened to these people.
so you see what has happened in the politics, what's going on. We all know, I'm sure we all believe that whatever the UNC is doing on the crime front is the best for the country. However, then if that is so, why did Zoso was rejected in Parliament? Again, I'm asking, you know what the PNM is branding this as? Stigmatizing the African people, the stigmatizing the constituents of the African-run, the African areas. So Silad, Slaventil, Maloney.
They so care about the African people that they force the African people to thief in order in Lavantil area to survive. Right? They so care about the African people that the African people have to run the streets, right? And beg, borrow, and steal, right? And live in dilapidated conditions in a Labas area and sewage flushing up from the ground up straight into their kitchen, which I have seen with my own eyes, right? I've seen with my own eyes.
So
Okay, I've seen the
they,
footage.
so they is trying to bring that to the national table. And that is why Zoso was rejected. In addition, they had 9 independents, or shall I say, so-called independents, who voted with the PNM to make sure that it was rejected. And after the 9 independents, I think there was 1 Indian out of those 9. So you see how much the race card plays in all of this. An important legislation like this also was rejected, basically because of race, because they're telling you you're stigmatizing my constituents, man. You can't talk to black people like that. You can't. So because the recipients, and they are aware of this, most of the crimes are done by these young blacks. So by bringing in Zoso, you're going against the grain. Forget the people who suffered, who was the sufferers of home invasion. You are stigmatizing young black people. But to them, that is the point. You know, and when you get the parliament to reject that legislation, it goes to tell you how the thinking is. You know, and among those who voted, the 9 independents, you only have how much opposition members, how much, 12 or something like that, 50, 18, 19, 18. So you see, I'm really scared about this thing after the next 5 years, unless the UNC really get their act together. They really need
Well,
to...
it's not a matter of getting the act together, Suman. It's just because there's so much to do. So, but we're doing it. We are doing it. We are laying the foundation. Next year, this time around, you're going to see different things happening because
But that
we
is
will be
win
putting...
election, Gary. You see, this is what I'm saying. They did that in 2010 to 2015. A lot of things, a lot of good things, a lot of progress was made. But still they end up losing the election in 2015.
Because of what? Race. That SOE that they had when some of the guys was arrested and they tried to spin the case. Well, obviously, we know some evidence was destroyed. But who arrested the African guys? Not African police?
Yeah, but they don't see it like that. They see it as a UNC thing. But they always cast the blame on UNC. You have to understand that, you know, no matter how much good
they were saying, go ahead. They were saying the Indian government.
The Indian lady. Although we don't like that Indian lady. That Indian lady is against young African male. With that Indian lady is discriminating against us. Look at the amount of houses that are given to the NHA families. Most of them are Africans, but they wouldn't say that. The press, you don't see these things in the press. You know, what about all these schools that were neglected? Now they're, you know, how many millions of dollars pumped down the drain. Like Ramaitris Hindu, Shiva Boys, Shiva Girls, Southern University, this UE, now some campus, all these schools neglected, but these things are not highlighted in the press. We never knew about these things unless when they had the investigations after the election.
So you see, so here's where you have to couch this argument carefully, because you know what they're coming with. You know what the strengths are.
Yeah.
So you see when you talk about they have the campus in Debe and they have this and that and have this. So you know how those PNM diehards are thinking? I will not say every PNM because they're floating PNM, but the diehards, you know what they're thinking? That instead of spending it there, I would have gotten more in my constituency. So that is affecting them because you're doing a wrong thing in their eyes. Because you're bringing up the whole country, and we don't want that. We only want us, our constituency. Where we vote, bring it there, don't send it there. So you want to have, I think you call it just now, somewhere in Debe, mentioned somewhere, some Ramaitra or somewhere. You want to help those people down into South Oropouche? No, don't. If you give them, I will get less over here. So therefore, give me. Therefore, I don't like you as the UNC. That's what the UNC is doing. They're taking over from me and giving those people. Those people supposed to get nothing, and are supposed to get everything.
That's right. So that's
That is
why
the
you
argument.
know,
That is what we're trying to kill.
and you
We
see,
could do it politely by telling them, no, we are all Trinidad people. We all pay taxes. Each of us needs to get. You get in, yes, be happy. Let them get some too, and let's all be happy. That is the
okay,
message the UNC have to send.
look and see, Doc. There's a housing crisis all over Trinidad and Tobago, all over Trinidad and Tobago, right? Have you seen any NHA development get in any Indian areas or Indian constituencies? Or
Any opposition constituency, the original opposition, in
the
any of
original-
those people who voted the other way,
yeah.
how many of them?
So you see,
If they're doing that, they're doing it in the marginal constituencies, so they
yes.
could twist in their
When
favor.
now you talk strategy. Look at the
Right.
marginals, the people who
Cheap dog, donkey logic. Cheap
That's-
dog logic. Not
Man,
donkey logic.
see, you have to beat them with their own whip.
Right.
As I-
That's right. That is it.
You have to beat them with their own whip.
Except we must not use the race card because that's what they want you to
never,
use. That is
never.
their strength. Keep them with
Yeah.
their strength. Racism is their strength.
Let
We're
them
not in
talk.
that.
Let them talk on that. Let them keep on talking.
Right.
The rest.
Right.
On
And
a
the people will see
in the-
the Trinidad majority of honest people, which is the majority of Trinidad, they would see this.
Correct. And they will
That's
see
right.
that
That is the message. That's the way to argue with someone. That's the way to carry the message.
and they will see that whatever in the long run you will see is what they're doing is good for the country.
But
for
listen,
the-
you have a prime minister that wants to give you more than a CPEP walk, right? You have a prime minister that's trying to create a future for you, your children, and your grandchildren, provide you with better health care, provide you with a safer community, right?
Gary,
PNM has a
Gary,
proven record for total failure
Yes.
and chaos.
But Gary,
Right.
she did that the last time around and she still lost the election.
Well, I guess some of them realized that because they see how they came up. We didn't have to force them, you know.
No, so you see, your approach has to be different. There'll be a very structured
Yeah.
in your
You
approach.
have to do a little more. Something more is
Little
Yeah,
required.
well, we just getting started. We just scratching the surface. But let me tell you, there's a lot of things you guys ain't seen it, but there's a lot of work being done. Lot of work being done.
Yeah, it's not for me to see, it's for them to see. For me,
Yeah,
it's
but
all
that's
right.
saying, but yeah. So
Remember, I always tell you, Gary, that PNM has broken all the damn systems in the ministries. Every single system
yes,
that was
yeah.
been
But
broken.
our people is putting down some
But
work. They are working very hard.
It's going to take you years to bring these systems back. Years. When you add it up, is more than 5 years to bring the thing back into a state of normalcy. And by the time that comes, one less spark could ignite the fire. And you lost that election because we did the same correct things last time around. The last time around, 105 schools, how many health centers, blah, 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 hospitals, everything much more efficient. But why then, if you did all these things, why did you lose the election? So there's something more. There's something more in that than delivery of services. You know, there's something more, and it has
Well,
to.
the political part, we will have to get that going. But right now, we're trying. Listen, we got mouths to feed. We got some more hungry people than we got money. And you know, understand what I mean? So I mean, because I deal with some of that. You know what I mean? I have to deal with some of that. So
We deal with some of that right now.
yeah, I mean, you guys know how much calls I just get about food and this one have food and I want to have food and this and that and the other, right?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of work, and one thing I'm really sad about, and to be honest with you, is the UNC PR and communication.
but the thing about it, I have no funding on my end here to help that. If I had the funding, I could have helped. But I mean, in all the attempts, not much people was willing to come forward. So I mean,
Doc and I made the point: if you have to do it every 2 weeks like a bullhorn, do the damn thing. get there. Your message has to get out to the public to let them know what you are doing. You, meaning UNC, is doing to resurrect and bring this country back. You have to go toe to toe, like it's a boxing match. You know, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. It's about toe to toe. Their social media marketing is up to market, man. I look at it, I see what they're doing. It's a strategy they're using. Thank God the president who is running their social media, she resigned about 2 weeks ago. I told her that, Gary, she resigned. So, but our PR and communication team, I think, is very weak. That UNC communication team is very weak in that they will probably wait at the end of a quarter or the end of the year to tell the people all the good things that I have done.
Yeah,
Nothing
so
wrong with that.
we will discuss these things off here. You know, I mean, we will deal with these things off here.
Nothing
All right?
wrong with that. I was making it point the duck.
No. I mean, we're going to put some things in place, but like the government is doing.
They have to.
Yeah, they're doing everything possible to drive to revitalize our economy, make sure our people eat, and they will see that happening.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we on tonight, on tomorrow night with Ken. I don't know you guys want to come in. I have Rodney will come back in because he's going to give us a little description of what's taking place in Lab until West there with the infrastructure and things like that. And so Rodney, just take a brief jump in here to let us know, show us what's happening with the football down there and how the people are trying. Yeah. So they need some help out there. And these are things that, we're trying to help Rodney out there with also. So we're going to be broadcasting some of the things that they are attempting to do in their community.
Nice. Yeah. Well, let's call it a night, Barry.
Dr. Maraj?
Yeah.
Are you on board with us tomorrow night? You have time?
Depending on what you're talking about. You're talking about those things I may not be. Because the engineering thing, I have much to say.
Well, we're talking flood mitigation and things like that, but you could still be on board.
I could pop in a little bit. I could pop out back if I had nothing to say.
Well, you could listen. Yeah, I mean, nobody's stopping you from being here. So, all right.
Sure.
So tomorrow night, we're doing it. We're going live again, and so we'll wrap up here now. And if anything else you guys want to add on, Suman, Dr. Maraj?
Tomorrow night the time will be the same for everybody.
Yeah. Correct. Daylight saving time kicks in. Yep.
Okay, guys. Good talking to you tonight.
All right, take care.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.